male fans, they would save their 2 months' salaries for scholarships, because together with the records, they would also get a pair of sneakers, Adidas or Nike, and Levi's. And they were really ready to starve 1 or 2 months, because they knew as soon as these boys they would get the records, Levi's and Adidas on, the best girls of the city are famous. And that's where I always add, that's how my the brother-in-law, or who is he married my sister. That's how he got my sister, an older sister, the best girl of the university. Options, because that's the way we raise our girls. You know, we read these Cinderella stories, princesses, and even the way we dress them up. Like, it's the clothes for the girl should be either pink or light pink. You know, it's really, you go to that's how it is in Russia. That's the peacekeepers. More than 100,000 were sent throughout 10 years of conflict in Afghanistan from different parts of Russia. You know, we are really blessed. We are blessed. We are so far away from these front lines. So you know that the hostilities, they almost never had taken part on this territory of the Urals. But we had to participate in our boys, men, they had to participate in every conflict because we always had conscription, compulsory military service. So 1,000 soldiers were sent to Afghanistan from this city, only from this city, yeah? and the rest, but just from this city, 1,000. And 242, they didn't come back when the conflict was over in 1989. So their comrades, those who did survive, when they came back, they established a special non-governmental organization for the veterans, and they raised the money, and they announced the public contest. They chose the best project offered by the local sculptor Grunberg, and it's called Black Tulip. It's made up of 10 steles, the curved ones, with the names of the soldiers, killed soldiers listed on them. And in the center you can see the figure of the soldier seated on the bench, either a bench or a coffin. Because the black tulip, it's not just the flower, the tulip itself, but that was the nickname of the airplane that transported coffins back home. And if you look twice, you can see that these curved steles, columns, they shape the cross-section of the fuselage of the airplane, with the soldier in it, seated on the bench, on the coffin, right, and mourning the loss of his friends. So he didn't like that idea. Sebastiana was his name. So that is why, according to the legend, he grabbed all the fortune he had. It was still not enough to pay off the fine. So that's why he went downtown, went to the casino to gamble, double the sum, and get rid of this noisy church. But instead of winning, he lost it all. He had to leave his beautiful mansion. Some people call it the Hermitage. No. Though actually the collection of the Hermitage was preserved here during World War II. That museum, it was, some of the replicas were made, some of parts of the collection were stayed, and they form part of this fine arts museum. But so that was just private house. In the Soviet time, it was turned into, so he left it, and he left it to the city court and left the city and never came back. In the Soviet time, it was turned into the Palace of Trade Unions. But this one is the third best because normally when we think of Pushkin, what do we see? We see a man wearing a top hat, suit, with his pen in his hand, in his hands. And our Pushkin is very specific. You see, he's nearly naked. He's just wearing his night gallo. He's barefoot. He's having his arms across on his chest, but no pen in his arms. And that's what the youngsters, they actually, well, they wander around. They are from the university here, so they joke, and they jokingly call him, it's Kung Fu Pushkin. And as long as he was a short man, he was specially placed on a little pedestal, and they continue, the youngsters. It's Kung Fu Pushkin riding a skateboard. Well, these are jokes, you know, but in fact, he was shown like this because that was the artistic way of the local sculptor Grunberg, to show him woken up just overnight. His inspiration is just coming around. It's somewhere over there. He's just waiting for the inspiration, for the muse to come and leave this, something in his heart and his brain. But it's not yet there. It's somewhere. So I'll just very quickly remind you who was who. And that's Nicholas II, the last Russian emperor. His lovely wife, Alexandra Fyodorovna, whose real name was Alex von Darmstadt von Hessing, because she was German princess. And her mother died when the girl was very little. So that's why she was raised by her grandma. Best regards from Queen Victoria. They spent lots of time there. Because Nicholas in England, because Nicholas II himself, just look at him. If you actually take the picture of George V, you can't really tell who is who. They were like twins, they were cousins. And the So Nikki and Alex was real, love story. True love story, because it's at that time they used to marry, the kings, they used to marry for different reasons, political, strategic reasons, but Nikos was the lucky one, a great exception. He married for love, and they were met when she was 12, he was 16, and they managed to keep this love throughout all their life. And they had a lovely family with 5 children, 4 daughters, the oldest Olga Tatiana, the youngest Maria and Anastasia, and this little cute girl you can see in her arms, that's actually the boy, Alexei. Well, the British traditions raised them dressing up boys like girls until the age of 5 or 6. And so Alexei also unfortunately suffered from hemophilia. That's regards from Queen Victoria. So she was the one who passed this mutated gene. He was hemophilic. But anyway, the family was very united, very caring, very, very loving, very loving. And they really loved to spend lots of time together. And they worked together when the revolution took